Wow, this is the authentic Cincinnati experience here.
Yeah, some German beer cheese. Good?
Calen, I was in St. Louis for a majority of my life. Cardinals were always better than the Reds. No one cared, right? Everyone's like, Cincinnati soccer, really? Dude, it's amazing to me.
I think it surprised everyone, from the coaching, the players, the ownership group, the fans, the city on the whole, MLS. Everyone was thrown off guard.
You know, the amount of momentum that the club has gained in this city, it's deserved, man. It's like, it didn't happen by chance.
I think soccer, more so than a lot of other sports, is connected to the community. So when they became apparent that they're like, you know, Cincinnati is the city that's kind of growing up and getting better, and soccer is a reflection of that community that wants to make the city better. Once they bought into that, like, I was sold on it.
This club has only been around for 3 years. 35,000 for Open Cup games in Cincinnati? Dude, they've had 4 or 5 teams here completely fail. They came, no one went to games, no one understood it.
You know, this is a major league city. We've always run this with a vision to get to MLS. Like, okay, now let's go.
Cincinnati, Ohio is officially granted the newest expansion club in Major League Soccer. Welcome, FC Cincinnati.
Having played for the Fire and won the US Open Cup in my rookie year, I couldn't help but enjoy one of the best stories in North American soccer last year and watch FC Cincinnati's historic run to the US Open Cup semifinals. Deserving in their own right, through their play on the field and in the rapid rise of this club, we've come now to uncover how a club with very little history has become such a big part of a city steeped in one, but often left underground.
We have a subway system that was abandoned before it was ever finished. There's so many moments where Cincinnati's come so close to doing something so big, but then it kind of missteps. Our group, it seems to be people who are like, who believe in the city and believe it can be bigger and can believe it can achieve big things. So it's pronounced Die Innenstadt. It's a rough German translation of the words like inner city or urban core. The center of Cincinnati has always been there. We want to see that get stronger. We really enjoy soccer, we enjoy being fans of the team, but we really wanted to make it into something more. So whenever we can do something to give back to the community, we will. When the new stadium comes up, we want to partner with charities, specifically in the West End. In the meantime, we've partnered with several different charities that are in over the Rhine. Cincinnati has a huge German heritage. We used to have a canal that ran through town, and everybody referred to it as the Rhine River. Tons of German immigrants. So the neighborhood just from over the canal from downtown became known as Over the Rhine. We've got a German name, we hang out at a German bar. The German heritage is like a big thing. Like, people are very proud of it. People really identify with it here.
How important is the German heritage and culture to the city of Cincinnati?
Oh my gosh, it goes back from 150 years. Yeah. They're just now renaming some streets to the German name they took away during the First World War.
You are at Kolping's Schützenfest. Kolping Schützenfest has been going on since 1866. Cincinnati was founded in 1788. They keep shooting until the eagle is totally disintegrated. The last person that shoots that down wins Schützenkönig or Schützenking.
You gotta be a member for 3 years. Gonna miss my shot today. You played over in Germany basketball though, right?
Yes. My first year was in Berlin, so I was in Berlin when the wall went down. Then I played in Hanover. As you can see, I have Hanover 96. What's interesting is I picked up soccer over there. We practice rather than do layups before practice. We play soccer.
Can you teach me something in German today?
Ein Bier.
Ein Bier.
Bitte.
Bitter.
Ein Bier bitte means 1 beer, please.
1 beer, please. Okay.
Okay.
That seems appropriate. How important is beer and beer culture to connecting to the past of German heritage?
It's paramount. It's probably one of the most important ingredients.
Look them in the eye. Rules.
Yeah, that's something when you're doing a cheer or a prost, you always look someone in the eye because it's sincerity. They say immer in die Augen, always in the eyes.
Okay, let's do this. Prost. Prost. At one point, breweries and beer halls defined Over the Rhine. They were everywhere. But with Prohibition, that immediately shut down. Now, we see a reemergence of beer culture and breweries alongside soccer. This is a German beer hall. And I thought it was like an interesting choice for the announcement to be here. And then you start looking around, and I started noticing guys in the scarves, but it was in German.
Yeah.
And then you go around the town, you see German buildings or signs. Do you think that a German player could potentially be of interest or resonate in this market?
Absolutely, if they're a good player. I think without tipping my hat too much, I would say absolutely.
FC Cincinnati, business-wise, they're not going to have any issue whatsoever. The hard part is building that team. I think when FC Cincinnati gets done with the celebrating of getting into Major League Soccer and rolls up their sleeves and gets into it, they've got to come up with a plan. They've got to trust a person or a committee of people that have the plan and stick to it, even if it struggles in that first year. They've got to be rocking and rolling and ready to win games. Otherwise, you lose that momentum of a new team.
And there's not a lot of runway.
No, there's not.
It's a 24/7 job, and I'm on the phone maybe at 11 p.m. at night, or I'm waking up at 5 a.m. because there's a call in Europe I have to take. But number one, I love it.
The transition from USL to MLS is never easy. You have to manage one roster while building the next with not a lot of time. Well, there's no one better to take on this challenge than Luke Sassano, my old college teammate, who's been tasked with defining what this roster looks like, but also the identity on the field. How did this opportunity come to pass for you, and why did you leave my men's league?
A bigger transfer fee from the men's league in New York to the men's league in Cincinnati. That was the main reason. I've always seen Cincinnati from the outside. You saw the Open Cup run last year, and you could feel there was something growing in the city that was very unique to soccer. It was something that you think has been around for many years, but it's a 3-year-old club, which is pretty incredible.
Every time there was like a moment for FC Cincinnati to like step up and show the world how serious we were, it happened.
What's been the highlight for you on the field?
First and foremost is being on the field. Being on the field, man, in front of that, like, the crowd is crazy. Because I'm getting towards the end of my career, and I'm like, man, how am I going to replicate this?
Corbin is a former teammate of mine with the Chicago Fire, one of the more technical players I played with, but things didn't exactly go to plan for him. He's had to go through the lower leagues and build his way back up to FC Cincinnati, where he's found a new lease on life, a second career, a new family, and a new home here in Cincinnati. To discuss it all, we met up at, of course, a coffee shop in the cool part of town.
To be honest, ever since I started playing professional soccer, I was always looking to find a place where I could contribute and be the player that I've always wanted to be and knew I could be. 7 years of me trying to find that, and then, coming here, I found a home where I could be myself and be the player that I knew I could.
We had our first preseason game. This is a USL team that started 3 weeks ago. We had our first practice like 3 weeks ago. Corbin Bone scored one of the best goals. That goal was on ESPN, and it's like one of the best goals you've seen. Volley, off volley, header, and he just hit it from 35 yards out.
Going into it, the expectations, I just wanted to play. I wanted to be a part of something, a soccer team that wanted to play good football and have fun. And then now, looking back, it turned into this like crazy boom. The first game we played at Nipper, I still remember it. I think there was like 15,000 people there, which now looking back is like small compared to the numbers we get. But like at the time I was like, yo, this is crazy.
The Baileys, what's known as the Baileys right now, comes marching in and singing songs. Where's this coming from? These people are singing songs already.
But the biggest thing that stood out that very first night was everybody was standing all around the stadium. Everybody was on their feet. Everybody's watching the game. Like they were there to watch soccer and watch the team.
We scored in the first 5 minutes.
Over to Okoli. Look into scissor kick it, and there it is. The first ever goal at Nipper Stadium.
Sean Okoli scores this like scissor kick, and it was like, wow, this is going to be a hell of a ride, man.
The stadium just erupted. Just like a roar just came up from the stadium, and I'm like, just chills, man. I went to UC, and just to see the football field go to a soccer pitch. All of a sudden, the stadium itself is just orange and blue, and you're like, it's an amazing environment.
We saw the packed stadium, but wanted to get a sense of what was happening at the grassroots level with FC Cincinnati. And to do that, I hit up an old teammate, Omar Cummings. Went to University of Cincinnati, played in MLS, but has come back through the club to play for them, and then now on their community side to work with high achievers, building soccer in the West End where kids really haven't had access to it before.
This is where a lot of the talent pool comes from. Kids in the urban cities just playing, and I feel like we're just missing out. Like, how do we get these kids that we don't have access to get that access to the game.
Specifically with Omar, I mean, he's very important to the club. When he's out in the community, people recognize him. He played for the club, he played college in Cincinnati, so like he's Cincinnati, you know, as an ambassador to the club, of what he brings in the community and building up youth programs is really important to us.
To show that interest, to have players that look like them especially, you know, come out and show themselves like, oh man, you can do that, oh man, how did you do it? And then like, just the most amazing reactions. Just get them access, to get them playing, you know, and get them a ball. You know, they'll do the rest, believe me. For me to be the first one to actually go to college, you know, from my family, you know, I think that was huge. Cincinnati has been my roots here in the States. You know, I have kids now that are Americans. It's given me so much, and I could come back and play for Cincinnati. It was a dream. It was the best, you know, very, very easy decision for me.
And I think the cool thing about this club, and it's not everywhere, but there is a desire to look after players that may move on from the club. And I think that's something very special to say, hey, you've given everything for us. Let's figure out a way if we can find something for you when your playing career is over. And you've been around, you've played at a lot of clubs, you've had a long career. That doesn't happen everywhere. It's not that you take care of guys that have given you their everything. And I think that's something very special and unique here for sure.
This Butterflies thinking about coming back and representing Cincinnati in a way that I felt like I would always wanted to. The city, again, it's you know, it's a flower that's growing, that's blooming, man, where it's a renaissance, the city has changed, it's a different city, it's a different Cincinnati from what it was, you know, 15, 20 years ago.
Got here and like, man, it was, my whole life changed. Like soccer started to turn, like I meet this girl who is the love of my life and now my wife and the mother of my child. It was like I was supposed to be here.
I want little kids growing up thinking, you know, I love soccer, these are my players. When you're a little kid and you have the opportunity to rub elbows with professional athletes and have a sport and a passion, maybe you'll play professionally someday, but those characteristics that you learn, hard work, dreaming big, never letting anyone tell you what you can't do. It's important in sports, it's important in life. And when you have those things at a young age, it can be very formative. It was for me, and I want to make sure that we have those same opportunities for kids in this city.
You'll walk down the street and you'll see FC Cincinnati gear everywhere, and someone will just say what's up to you. Like, I literally just said what's up to the cashier, and he was like, hey, I'm a big fan. So that's awesome, man. Like, that's crazy. That doesn't happen everywhere. So, like, to be a part of that, you want to, you know, do your best to reciprocate that kind of feeling, player to fan, fan to player. Like, I think that's a big thing.
That's why you brought us here.
Yeah, man, I know the cat. It's a setup, man. It's a setup. It just shows like pockets around, you know, the U.S., the world, whatever. Like soccer is blowing up, man, which is awesome to see.
Cincinnati was primarily a baseball and football town. I think you're going to see considerably more Fussball, as they say.
The sport is here. The sport is here for now. It's here for the future. I think 3 or 4 years ago, Calen, I'm not sure those owners would have said you and I'd be sitting here at a rooftop bar in Cincinnati, having a beer in the afternoon, talking about why Cincinnati deserves to be in the first division of Major League Soccer.
With FC Cincinnati, I'm competing for our city. You know, soccer's a global sport. It's the one sport that has global currency, and we're trying to put Cincinnati on the map.
This whole thing is for real. Like, it's not a joke.
So fast. I mean, it's amazing. In 3 years, we're going into the MLS. 3 years.
Over the last 3 years, FC Cincinnati have made themselves hard not to notice. But from the halted subway systems, the abandoned buildings, the closed breweries in this neighborhood in the OTR, you get the sense that this town has a little bit of a sour taste in its mouth and some unfinished business. On the soccer side, this has been set to be remedied by a group of players who've come here with no more than a promise of a fresh start. Those who've returned to give back to an adopted home, or Cincinnati natives hoping to redefine a new future for the sports town, looking this time to do things in full. Referencing its history instead of running from it, from the grassroots soccer happening just over the Rhine, to the underground beer tunnels and breweries across the city, all the way to the top league in MLS, Cincinnati is already on the come up and set only to continue to rise. Prost. Prost.
Thanks from New York, my friend.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. That was awesome.
Have a safe trip back.
Thank you. Thank you. That was fun.